You're in charge of a site where failure isn't an option. Drones are showing up in your inbox, in your budget meetings, maybe even on your fence line. This is where we make sense of what's hype, what's real, and how to actually use it. Welcome to On the Fly. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jordan. Today's conversation takes us to Central America, where drone autonomy is moving from pilot projects to large-scale implementation. FlytBase has partnered with GEOINN, a Costa Rican-based geospatial solutions provider, to help organizations in the region automate their aerial mapping and monitoring workflows.
If you're managing infrastructure, tracking environmental change, or overseeing public safety in Central America, chances are you've relied on manual drone flights or field surveys to gather aerial data. But here's the issue. These workflows are slow. They require trained operators on site, and once the images are collected, you're manually uploading gigabytes of data, pushing it through multiple platforms, and hoping it all syncs in time to be useful.
That friction adds up, especially in sectors like land development or environmental monitoring, where conditions change fast and decisions can't wait days for processed maps. That's where this partnership comes in. GEOINN brings years of experience in drone mapping and GIS services, and FlytBase provides the autonomy layer, the software that replaces manual flights with scheduled, remote-controlled missions.
Right. With FlytBase, you can plan a drone flight from your office, monitor it in real time, and have it collect data consistently across large or hard-to-reach areas. And GEOINN, they understand the terrain. Their team knows what environmental scientists, infrastructure developers, and safety officials in the region actually need. They're not just offering tech, they're offering local implementation and training.
So let's say you're a city planner monitoring deforestation patterns or slope stability after heavy rains. Instead of dispatching field crews after each event, you can schedule autonomous flights ahead of time. Have the drone collect multispectral or thermal imagery and send that data straight into your GIS platform.
And that brings us to one of the most important parts, data management. A lot of drone programs stall out after the flights because teams get bogged down in post-processing. FlytBase solves this with what they call flinks. Think of it as a one-click pipe from your drone to platforms like Drone Deploy, Pix4D, or Esri. You finish your mission, and the images sync automatically. No dragging files, no SD cards, no extra steps.
That's a game changer for operational teams. And it's not just about speed, it's about reliability. You're reducing human error, standardizing data capture, and ultimately getting higher quality insights that decision makers can trust.
Now let's talk security, because we know that for government agencies and critical infrastructure operators, autonomy isn't enough if the data isn't secure. That's why FlytBase includes FlytBase Shield, an enterprise-grade framework that ensures encrypted communication, role-based access control, and deployment flexibility.
Need an air-gapped setup for sensitive operations? Or a system that meets ISO 27001 and SOC 2 standards? Shield's built for that. You can run it on premises, in hybrid environments, or through the cloud, whatever your IT team signs off on.
This is especially critical in regions where regulations vary, or where public trust hinges on how well data is handled. And it means organizations can scale drone programs without compromising compliance or privacy.
What I find really interesting about this partnership is how it addresses both the technical and the human sides of autonomy. FlytBase brings the automation. GEOINN brings the context. Together, they're giving teams the tools to collect data faster, more safely, and with far less overhead.
If you're in Central America and you're trying to monitor hundreds of hectares of land, document infrastructure progress, or respond to environmental events, this isn't about replacing people. It's about multiplying your capability.
And we're already seeing uptake. From environmental impact assessments to construction oversight, drone autonomy is starting to feel less like a futuristic goal and more like operational necessity.
So, if your drone program feels stuck in the manual phase, this might be the push you've been waiting for.
And with partners like GEOINN handling implementation and local support, it's not just scalable, it's accessible.
That's it for today's episode of On the Fly.
Fly far.
Fly smart.
Fly
on the fly.